Good morning, children. Today I will be taking the last endocrine gland of this chapter, that is pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, it is small red gray pea-shaped gland. Its structure is pea-shaped and its location is, you will find it hangs from the base of the midbrain below hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a part of a brain and we will find it hanging below that. So it is of this shape, pea-shaped structure, and it hangs from the just above our nose, right on the forehead above our nose. We will in the center of the brain we'll find this part, hypothalamus, from where it hangs. This pituitary gland consists of three parts, or there are three lobes. The part facing the front part and the major part is the anterior lobe of pituitary gland, or an anterior part. Then there is a very thin sectional part behind the anterior gland which joins the posterior part of the pituitary gland. In the center is present a strip of a lobe called intermediate lobe, and this intermediate lobe is non-functional in human beings. This intermediate lobe, somewhere this joining these two lobes, somewhere here in the center, this is the anterior lobe, this is the posterior lobe, and it is in the center of this intermediate lobe has got no role to play in the human beings. It is only active in the lower group of animals. And the third part of the pituitary gland is the back part, smaller than the front part, and it is the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. Now the front part of posterior, I told you, this is the posterior lobe. Its front part of the posterior lobe is the intermediate lobe. So this complete is the posterior lobe. Its front part is the intermediate lobe. Now we'll find both the lobes, the anterior lobe, the posterior lobe, though they are the part of pituitary gland only, but they both are different in carrying their functions because they both secrete different set of hormones. Now we will study the hormones secreted from the anterior pituitary gland, anterior part of pituitary gland. This anterior pituitary part, it constitutes about 75% of total weight of the gland. And this part, anterior pituitary gland, secretes 6 types of hormones: growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, or ICSH, that is interstitial cell stimulating hormone. Now out of all these, the growth hormone, and then the luteinizing hormone, the follicle stimulating hormone, and this again this luteinizing hormone, and this is the which is called as interstitial cell stimulating hormone. This luteinizing hormone is in males, and this is we talk of the females. Now we'll find these three: follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone here, and this part is the LTH. This the first one. This is called as prolactin, also called as prolactin. Now see, you can learn this as prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone. These three are together called gonado. They are together called gonadotropic hormone. Is that clear, children? The anterior pituitary gland secretes 6 types of hormones: the growth hormone, LTH is the prolactin, then TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocortical tropic hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, LH, luteinizing hormone, also called as ICSH. Out of all these six, the three, LTH, FSH and LH, they are together form a group called gonadotropic hormones. Gonads are testes and ovaries. Right? Now, why we use this term tropic with this? See here, we have written adrenocortic tropic hormone. Then we have written gonadotropic hormone. Right? Why is this word tropic is written? Actually, the term tropic means those hormones which will stimulate certain other endocrine glands to secrete their secretions. So, you will find out of these six, except growth hormone, all others are tropic hormones. What does tropic hormones mean? Tropic hormones are those hormones which will stimulate or activate the other endocrine glands to secrete their secretions. So, like adrenocortic hormone, this hormone will go to the adrenal cortex of the kidney and will stimulate the adrenal cortex to secrete the cortical hormones. Similarly, thyroid stimulating hormone, this hormone will go to the thyroid gland to stimulate this endocrine gland to secrete thyroxine. So, such type, the hormones which are responsible to activate the other endocrine glands, that is their function. They otherwise don't carry other body functions. Their function is to stimulate other endocrine glands to secrete their particular hormones. Now we will study one by one. The growth hormone is also called as somatotropic hormone or GH or STH. Its function is, this hormone, it's secreted from the anterior pituitary gland. It stimulates or activates the growth of bones and soft tissues of body, and this hormone is very essential for the normal growth of the human body. So, with age we grow normally, it is because of the growth hormone. Growth hormone should be secreted, the quantity should be according to the requirement of body. If it is secreted more, then also it is harmful. If it is secreted less, then also it is harmful. So, its over secretion and under secretion we will study afterwards. Now we will come to the next hormone, prolactin, also called as LTH, which is luteotropic hormone. You can learn this term only, prolactin. This is a hormone which is going to stimulate. This hormone is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland, anterior part of pituitary gland. When this hormone will come in the blood will carry this hormone to the mammary glands. In females, to secrete milk immediately after the birth of a baby. So it is going to activate the mammary glands to produce milk for the newly born baby. Then till here you can do. Then the third type of hormone which is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland is thyroid stimulating hormone. This stimulates the thyroid gland to secrete hormone thyroxine. So anterior pituitary gland will secrete this hormone. This hormone will be carried by the blood to the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland will be stimulated by this TSH to secrete the required thyroxine. Then next comes the adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. This hormone secreted by the anterior pituitary gland, it will promote and maintains growth and development of adrenal cortex and stimulates it to secrete its hormones. So this is responsible. This will be carried by the blood to the adrenal cortex and adrenal gland. The outer region is called adrenal cortex. So this adrenal cortex, for its proper growth, for its proper development, so that it can secrete its cortical, that is mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, sex corticoids hormone, all these corticoids hormones are being secreted when this adrenal cortex is stimulated by adrenocorticotropic hormone. Then follicle stimulating hormone FSH. This will stimulate the ovarian follicles to start and to continue the process of ovulation. Now, what is follicle? Now, every ovary contains an egg inside, right? Every egg you will find has a covering, is being covered by a cellular sac-like structure, a bag sac-like structure inside which the egg is present, and this sac-like structure is called as follicle, right? And this follicles ruptures when the egg is mature. This outer covering cellular sac called follicle will rupture, and this will help in releasing the egg from inside to outside. This process of releasing of egg is called as ovulation. This also stimulates the follicle cells to secrete hormone estrogen. Now, the follicle is the outermost covering layer of the egg. Inside which the egg is present. The follicle will rupture to release the egg. So, this hormone will stimulate the follicles to release the egg, that is to carry the process of ovulation, and also helps the follicle, the cells of these follicle, to secrete a female sex hormones called estrogen. This helps in developing the female secondary sexual characters. Now, follicle stimulating hormone, if it is in the males, it helps in the development of, in the testes are present the tubular structures called seminiferous tubules, which produce the sperm. So, they help in producing sperms. In females, it helps in producing egg. In males, it helps in producing the sperms. Then comes luteinizing hormone, that is LH. This helps in the process of ovulation, that is, this hormone will also help in the release of egg from the follicle. And the follicle, when the follicle will rupture, right, the egg is given out. These remains of the follicle, the left parts of the follicle, ruptured follicle is changed into a formation of a part or a structure called corpus luteum. It changes into corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum is important in producing a female hormone, progesterone, which will prepare the uterus, make the uterus strong, make it richly supplied with blood vessels to hold the fertilized egg inside it. Is it clear, children? So, after that, we will come to so this will stimulate the corpus luteum to secrete the hormone, progesterone and estrogen also. Then this luteinizing hormone in males, it will stimulate the testes, will activate the cells present in the testes called interstitial cells to secrete the male sex hormone, testosterone. So, luteinizing hormone in females will form corpus luteum, will change the follicle into corpus luteum. Corpus luteum will secrete progesterone and estrogen. These are the female hormones, sex hormones. In males, this luteinizing hormone will stimulate the cells of the testes called interstitial cells and will stimulate them to produce the male sex hormones, testosterone, which will develop the male secondary sexual characters. Then we come to the intermediate lobe. I told you the intermediate lobe is the middle part of the anterior and posterior lobe. It means the front part of the posterior lobe and the back part of the anterior lobe. A fine strip is present which is called as the intermediate lobe. This lobe has no function in advanced group of animal group, that is in human beings. We don't have, it does not, it is functionless. Whereas in lower group of animals, it secrete a hormone, MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Melanocyte means melanin. So this hormone controls the distribution of skin pigment, the pigment in the skin, melanin. So more of this hormone secreted, more of melanin will be formed, the person will be dark in complexion. If less of melanin is produced, so less of skin pigment is formed, so the will be having a wheatish or fair complexion. So this is the intermediate lobe. Then we'll come to the posterior lobe. Posterior or the back part of the pituitary gland serve as a storage area for the two hormones. They secrete two hormones, an ADH, antidiuretic hormone, also called as vasopressin, and another hormone called oxytocin. So this posterior lobe secretes mainly two hormones. ADH you have studied in excretory system. Its other name is vasopressin. And the second hormone is oxytocin. These two hormones are secreted by the hypothalamus but released by the posterior pituitary. Now, antidiuretic hormones, it prevents the formation of large amount of urine and thus decreases the water loss from the body. So, it helps in conservation of body water. It can also raise the blood, second function, raise the blood pressure by bringing about the contraction of the blood vessels in several tissues. Now, when the urine formation takes place, it is this hormone, antidiuretic hormone, which will reach to the tubular part of kidney and will stimulate the kidney tubular part to reabsorb the water and will bring it back into the body, thus help in conservation of body water. If this hormone is secreted less, then the kidney tubular part will not be stimulated, water will not be reabsorbed, so our body will be in deficit of the water. So its requirement is important. So the person will not be able to absorb the water from the glomerular filtrate, and the body will be deficient in water, and the person will pass out urine. Lot of urine will be passed out. But this passing out of the urine due to less of antidiuretic hormone does not have sugar. This is also a disorder called diabetes, but this is diabetes insipidus. Deficiency of this ADH causes diabetes insipidus, that is water diabetes. In this, urination is frequent, like diabetes mellitus, when there is less of insulin, resulting in loss of water from the body, making a person thirsty. So the difference is between diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus is important. That is due to the causes. Diabetes mellitus is sugar diabetes. Diabetes insipidus is water diabetes. In that the urine will be loaded with sugar. In this there is only lot of water is being given out in the urine. That is caused due to the under secretion of insulin. This is due to the under secretion or deficiency of antidiuretic hormone. Now oxytocin, this is the hormone which is secreted from the posterior part of the pituitary gland. Its function is that this hormone, it will immediately during the childbirth, this hormone is secreted, and the contraction of the powerful with force, the uterus is contracted, and that force will help in expelling out the child to move out from the mother's uterus. So powerful contraction by the pregnant uterus during childhood, term itself means swift birth, and it also causes milk ejection from the breast. So these are the two hormones, ADH and oxytocin, from the posterior lobe. Then the remaining part of this pituitary gland we will do tomorrow. Thank you.